Welcome back, everyone. Today we're joined by Shawn, co-founder, and Chris, COO, over at GeroWallet, a crypto wallet which seeks to be your master key to DeFi. So Shawn and Chris, cheers for coming on the show.
Hi, Blaine.
Of course. Thank you
Pleasure
for
to
having
be
me.
here.
No worries. It's a pleasure to have you guys here. To start us off, maybe we can begin with a quick introduction. So maybe Shawn, you can start first, and then we can go over to you, Chris.
Yeah, I'm Shawn Roller, and I am a co-founder of GeroWallet. And so a little bit about my background is I actually started in psychology and wanted to apply my psychology skills to technology. And so that's where UX research, UX design comes into play. So I kind of navigated to working in UX in the tech industry while also being very interested in blockchain and crypto, and then eventually DeFi. And then I have a master's in human factors, just wanted to, learn more about humans and how to improve technology for humans. And that's what the focus of human factors is. And then I just, how I got to GeroWallet is we noticed that there is a major lack of focus and user experience in DeFi, blockchain and crypto. A lot of projects will mention user experience, or they the goal is to improve user experience, but don't necessarily reach that goal. It's good that they mention it, but I guess that's kind of how a little short summary about how I came to be with GeroWallet.
Nice. Chris, what's your story?
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Chris, and I'm the CEO of GeroWallet. My background is in cybersecurity. I have about 8 years of professional experience. And what I would like to do with GeroWallet is to bridge my passion for cybersecurity and apply that to GeroWallet, of course, and then going forward into the blockchain in general. And in the project, I oversee the development side of things, and of course the security aspect of the project.
Gotcha. Alrighty. And how about GeroWallet? What is GeroWallet?
Yeah, so GeroWallet is, depends on the phase. So we kind of think about it in phases. And so the first phase, what it is right now, the beta, it is a Cardano wallet. So you can purchase ADA within the wallet, you can store it, you can send it, receive it, all of those things. And then moving into the next phase, it's going to be, you're going to be able to have ADA staking. We're going to be supporting Cardano native tokens, swapping within the wallet, integrations with DEXs, and NFTs. So you'll be able to visualize your NFTs within the wallet as well. And then going into a much larger phase, maybe a more important phase, will be next year. And so it's going to be an all-in-one platform for all of your DeFi needs. And it's going to be accessible to beginners. So we're going to be focusing on being able to onboard beginners and having them understand and complete all of their DeFi needs within that. But then also cater to the experts as well. So providing the features that the experts want all within GeroWallet. And so you will have the basics that you need, like a Cardano wallet, but then also things like yield farming and derivatives and synthetics, access to those sorts of things, being able to swap, cross-chain swapping, all of those good things all in one place. So you don't have to navigate across several different endpoints. You don't have to purchase your blue chips in Coinbase or something like that, send it somewhere else, send it to another wallet just to do like a swap. You want to pay all those fees, it'll be much quicker. And all in one place is really the goal. We're trying
all in one place. Yeah. And at the moment it's a wallet. Yeah.
Yes.
And I just wanted to add to what Shawn mentioned that currently it's a Chrome extension. But in parallel, we're also developing the mobile version for the iOS and Android platforms.
Yeah, so it's an extension on Chrome at the moment, which people can download, and I recommend that they do because I've downloaded it at the moment, and it's it's cool kind of using that. And it'll be exciting to see the different features as they roll out. You mentioned the NFT integration and the fact that you can visualize the NFTs. That's quite a big one because it probably seems like a small thing, but when you buy an NFT, and we're in this NFT craze at the moment, it makes such a difference if you can see it on your app, and you don't have to go to that step of copying your address and then going to pull PM and seeing it that way. So that would be quite a big deal, I imagine. Yeah, and you go.
Go ahead. I was just going to say, I think it's pretty important to be able to actually, visualize the NFT, and it's not just a bunch of letters and words and numbers and stuff like that, because you want to collect them, you want to look at them.
Exactly, and
you want to be sure when you send an NFT, well, am I sending the right one or That's
another point. So there's like two angles. So with the NFTs, it's nice to, when you buy an NFT from CNFT Marketplace, you can see it on your wallet and you can kind of, look at the cool different avatar projects that you've bought. But at the same time, if you want to send it to someone, that's something I've experienced is, am I sending the right one? Because you're sending the text, so you almost have to double check the NFT and the name of it, and then when you send it, you just need to kind of cross-reference it and just make sure that it's the right one, because you can't see you're sending the same thing unless you're sending it from, I think, Nami Wallet's the only one that you can do that at the moment. You touched on it earlier with the user experience being like a big part of GeroWallet. Can you maybe expand a bit on the problems that you're solving, and if it is primarily around maximizing that user experience and making that as simple as possible, what does that look like specifically?
Sure. So user experience, I think everybody can kind of agree, is it's kind of difficult to achieve a superior user experience through crypto in general, just because it's so, it's so convoluted. There's a lot of moving pieces and it's new, it's not something they teach you in school. And part of the reason how GeroWallet kind of came to be is that with the DeFi boom, we noticed, at least I did with MetaMask and Uniswap, when those really blew up, that a lot of people in Discords and Telegrams, they all had questions on okay, how does this work? How do I add my tokens to MetaMask? How do I do a swap? What is the slippage? Those sorts of things. Why is my transaction failing? All of those things. So, that's just a small piece of where user experience can be improved in DeFi and crypto and blockchain. And so for GeroWallet, what does that look like? Every step of the process for development considers the user that's going to be using the wallet. What are they going to be thinking? How do we cater to accessibility? And, how do we support the beginner user to be successful all the way through? So we are prioritizing the user, and the user experience comes before development. And so a few other things that you could kind of look at, we're collecting user insights so we could do research. We are looking at what users are wanting, what they're saying, and considering that into how we build GeroWallet as well. So we are including the user's voice as well into the development of GeroWallet. So I think that's a little bit different than other projects may do. I think there are several projects that like to do that, but maybe a little bit different than centralized tech companies. Maybe they do more of just we create, we develop, we know what to do, and then we get the user feedback. But we kind of incorporate both together in the development stage.
Yeah. The user experience is key. I always think to myself that we are, I've been exploring DeFi for a little bit now, but we're still just super early until we reach the point where I can just tell my mum to send me 20 ADA on this whatever DeFi platform that I'm using on whatever wallet. Until we can get to that point where she can do that without me having to send her a 2-page instruction list on how to do that, then we're not quite there. And that's currently, I'm at that point where I'd have to really almost I have to create a YouTube tutorial explaining how to do that, which is also exciting because it just shows how early we are and how many opportunities there are from a developer point of view to address those problems specifically, which is super cool and also cool for a user. There are a number of wallets out there. We mentioned Nami Wallet before on Cardano, other Cardano ones, Yoroi. And then outside of Cardano, MetaMask is the big one. And then Solana, Phantom's quite a nice one that I like on Solana. That user experience is quite nice. What is your point of difference? Obviously user experience, but maybe in terms of even features and stuff like that, what are some ways that you're differentiating yourself from, maybe let's focus on Cardano wallets for the moment. What are your point of difference within the Cardano wallet space?
Before we dive into the features, I'm going to start by saying we build with quality in mind and security in mind. So we are very lucky to have some very experienced team of developers. And so combining that experience with the UX and UI part that Shawn mentioned, from day one, we started building on an enterprise level. And that means doing quality checks, doing user acceptance testing, having, let's say, a production environment, but also a dev environment and a test environment, so we can roll out new features without affecting let's say the current users. So for us, it's very important to, when we roll out a feature, it has been thought thoroughly. It has been tested thoroughly. Of course, you can never catch 100% of all the bugs. There's always these one or two edge cases that are going to end up breaking something, but besides those exceptions, we invest heavily in quality and knowing that when users get our wallets, they're going to have a quality product in their hands.
Okay, so that's an important part of your process in terms of actually doing anything is what you call it, security first.
Of course, security first, embedded with quality. We believe that's a very good combination.
And then maybe on some of the features, do you offer? Because I know you guys have a fiat on ramp, which is super handy. Would that be? What are some other, I guess, features that you guys are either exploring to have or are in the roadmap, which would differentiate yourself from other wallets out there at this point in time?
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, and I don't think we were trying to dodge your last question or derail you or anything like that. I think you just wanted to finish up on the previous question. But yeah, if you put our wallet up next to MetaMask or Phantom Wallet or something, there's definitely going to be some similarities and there's going to be some differences. So it just depends on which wallet you're comparing and stuff like that. But yeah, a fiat on-ramp is definitely super important. And I think as GeroWallet is super, super early right now, I think you can really compare us to, MetaMask, for example, but that's not where we're going to stop. So we're going to keep building on to the wallet. It's going to be a much larger platform. That's why I kind of, I mentioned that it's in phases. And so I think, if you kind of wanted us to compare and contrast other projects or something like that, or maybe the features and stuff like that, I think what makes us different from MetaMask right now in this phase, because we're going to be much, much different later, and we'll really start to separate more and more as time goes. But right now, I think is we really considered the user experience in developing this wallet. And so MetaMask has similar functionality, but I really don't. I'm trying to not talk poorly about other wallets because I'm a user of MetaMask, and so I really appreciate it. But I think organization. So there's a lot of human factors principles that we incorporated into GeroWallet, and so there's ways to improve technology for humans, and that's through these principles. And so organization, communication, transparency, and onboarding, walking users through getting onto the platform and stuff like that, grouping, using Gestalt walls, those sorts of things. So it may not necessarily be like features that you use, but the features of the wallets are principles to improve user experience. And so I think that's what differs us from other wallets. And it's not just UX design. So a lot of people think UX is UX design, but it's psychology. It's a lot more than that. And it's about efficiency. So I think, all of those things are kind of features of our wallet to consider, and not necessarily, swapping, purchasing, trading and stuff like that. Those sorts of.
Yeah, gotcha. That's an interesting point. Mentioning that the user experience isn't just related to the design. Obviously there are other aspects to it as well. And one thing that I'm really looking forward to is one big friction point is, the wallet addresses is this big string of numbers and letters. There are a couple of projects coming out on Cardano where you can kind of, I don't know exactly how the mechanics around it, how they work, but essentially you have like this handle or whatever, and you can send money from just, a name, whatever that is. Is that a similar thing that you could integrate into GeroWallet in the future? Because I imagine that would really boost user experience from making it easier to send and receive and all of that kind of stuff.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, let me take this one. Sorry, I want to answer this.
Sure,
we've already kind of integrated that. So it's nice that you brought that up. So I think one point that you really brought up that is a problem is just the nature of crypto and blockchain is, like these long addresses and stuff like that. A lot of this stuff is really unavoidable, or it's really difficult to avoid, or you really have to strategize how to improve the experience when we have all of these blockers or hoops to jump through that are built into the blockchain. But I mean, that's one thing that we have built into the wallet itself is, of course, you can change the name. Pretty soon we're going to be launching more customizable features, so you can actually color coordinate your wallets. And then in the transaction details, for example, and stuff like that, you'll see your wallet, the name of your wallet and the color of the wallet and stuff like that. So it'll help a little bit with keeping track of the addresses and stuff like that. But as far as if you wanted to receive data now, for example, you would have to share your actual address. You couldn't share the name of your wallet, which could be cool. If you had a code name for your wallet or something, or maybe something like a gamer tag where there's only one unique one or something like that. It could be cool. But
if I may add to what Shawn mentioned.
Go for it.
Blaine, I think you're referring to ENS protocol. And I think this is the acronym. I could be wrong. It works pretty similar to DNS, but they always say it's not DNS. And it's very interesting that you mentioned that, because I cannot reveal too many information, but implementing this part of the protocol will be, it's definitely something that we're looking into. But then we also found a way with another project that we are working with to add an additional layer of security on that. And so we have some pretty cool features
in the works.
In the works, yes.
Well, it's nice that you guys are working on that, because that is, I think, a big one for also newbies coming into the space. When they see this massive string of things, are like, don't know what to do. This looks scary. I'm just going to go back to my traditional bank kind of thing. It's one of those things. It's foreign to them having a bank account or an account that has your money in it, to have this long name, because it's just not what we're used to in the real world. So exciting. Cardano. This is obviously a Cardano podcast. I love Cardano. I'm not a Cardano maxi. I don't like maximalism, so I kind of like all crypto as a movement. But why build on Cardano, or why focus on Cardano? Yeah,
I was just gonna say you're a crypto maxi.
I'm a crypto maxi. Well, I'm a make the world a better place maxi. That's kind of what I'm into.
That's even better.
Yeah. Yeah. So why Cardano?
was going to let you take this, Chris, because I feel like I've been talking a lot.
Why Cardano? Yeah, we truly believe in Cardano, and it's going to solve, or it already solved these. Well, it's going to solve the scalability issues Ethereum has, and of course the crazy fees that everyone gets to to experience from time to time when there is high load on the network. So with low fees and great scalability, you have we have essentially solved two of the main issues that Ethereum has been, let's say, experiencing the last few years. And of course, there's also a big community and a lot of projects building into Cardano, and you have this momentum of projects and development going on, and it's a very good, let's say, opportunity and the right time to develop in Cardano and be one of the first movers in the space.
Okay, good answer. Good answer. So that's why Cardano, but you guys have started on Ethereum. Can you maybe step through the rationale for, maybe starting this on Ethereum first? What's the logic there?
I'm gonna let Shawn take this one.
Yeah, sure. So, one of the main reasons definitely is going to be funding. So this isn't a project that we could fund ourselves. And so, with advice from the Card Starter team, because they're the ones that incubated us and launched us. And so, with their suggestions, they suggested to go through.
Hello.
Sorry about that. I don't,
Right.
But yeah, with their suggestions, they suggested to start with ERC20, and then that way we could get our funding, and so we could make sure that we could actually make this project work. And then let's see, what are the reasons? There's definitely other reasons, Chris. I will say that we're trying to migrate to Cardano as soon as we can. So as soon as this bridge is ready from the Card Starter team, we will be doing so, and then we will be Gero will be a native token on Cardano.
Yeah, gotcha. So a big part is the fundraising, which makes sense, especially when you're building this out in these phases, and you kind of need, I guess, capital in order to implement these to build out these stages, I guess. And a big one as well was you just couldn't. Cardano wasn't ready for projects to build on it as well. So if you wanted to, make some moves in the space a few months ago, Cardano just wasn't really an option. So from that angle as well, I that makes sense.
This is, Lane, if I may, it's also a very good segue to, we can also discuss the progress of the token, or the specifics behind the bridging and what needs to be done.
Yeah, totally.
Sure. So as Shawn mentioned, there is the bridge, which is actually going to parent, let's say, the Ethereum tokens and mint them on the Cardano side. But before we get there, we are currently developing our smart contract. And once it's about, I'm going to say a month from being, let's say, delivered, but we're not going to take it live, of course. We're going to audit it first and make sure that users' funds are safeguarded with a third-party, well-known auditor, and then we will be able to run it on the mainnet. And once it's running on the mainnet, then users will be able to bridge their ERC20 tokens into Cardano.
Okay, and is there a timeline on when that could be as a rough idea, or is it kind of a moving target at the moment?
There is a rough estimate of, I'm going to say, 6 weeks, 8 to 8 weeks. This is a rough estimate, but this is, DeFi, and a lot of things can change either in the good scale or the negative scale.
Yeah, things move super quickly in this space. I think people in this community can, when we look at timelines and due dates, it's, you know, with a grain of salt, because there's so many other things that can influence that as well that are often out of people's control. Okay, exciting. It'll be cool to see this on Cardano. It'll be cool to see more projects, well, on Cardano. It's just going to be an exciting time for anyone that's a fan of this ecosystem. Yeah, it's going to be exciting the next couple of months. Looking forward to it. Tokens, how you go for it.
Should be exciting, hopefully very soon.
Yeah, super exciting. The token, we kind of joked at the start, when token as a question, because I always find that so funny when in this space, when you're kind of navigating the different social media channels, everyone kind of condenses a lot of their questions into like when token. So your token you can already get at the moment. So maybe step through how can people acquire the token, and maybe the token utility. Once they have the token, what value does that give the hodler of that token?
Yeah. So right now we are available on Uniswap. So that is really just where we tell people to go right now. We aren't. We don't really support any of the sexes that we were on, the centralized exchanges. So. And so when we migrate to Cardano, yes, it's definitely going to be utility. And so we are currently working with M Labs right now, and determining, with the smart contracts, what that utility is going to be. And so I'm not sure if we should really say what that utility is going to be, because I think it's changing a little bit, especially with the way the SEC is right now. So we're trying to be a little bit cautious, and we're considering a lot of legal reasoning into it. But there's definitely going to be a lot of utility, actually. We have a very long list of features and utility that we want to introduce with GeroWallet. So, Chris, is there anything you want to add to that?
I'm wondering if we could just mention what's already on the light paper, because it's public information anyway, and that's staking, governance, and premium features within the wallet. But in the meantime, as we are US-based legal entity, we are doing our best to play by the rules and follow the SEC guidelines and the very famous Howey test. So we already have a bunch of information on the light paper, but we are also reviewing and revisiting a few things.
Okay, I understand. I don't know the ins and outs of how all that process works, but I hear it's very complicated. So I empathize for you guys through this process. But yeah, as you mentioned, because I was looking at the light paper, which is on your website. So for those that want to, I guess, look at that, they can hop on there and also check out other aspects on that light paper on their website. There's a kind of few more questions. I just wanted to quickly touch on, you mentioned the governance. Does that mean that there is some strategy or some plan in the future for there to be some community governance integrated into Gero? Is that a plan for the future?
That is correct, yes.
Yes, we will 100% have governance, yes.
Okay, perfect. That's always an important thing for me, especially when we're talking about DeFi. DeFi, part of that is decentralized, and I think a key part of that decentralization is the fact that it's governed by the community. So good to know. I guess one of the final questions I want to kind of touch on is the roadmap. So we've talked about this being built out in stages, and we currently have a Chrome extension wallet out at the moment. What's the roadmap look like for the rest of the year, and some, I guess, key milestones on that roadmap in the near term?
Yeah. So we have ADA staking coming out very, very soon. And then we have native token support coming out. We're going to be doing some customizable features with the wallet, like personalization. And then some of the other big ones on the roadmap, definitely mobile app. So iOS and Android apps, and then NFTs, of course. What else do we have this year, Chris?
We have hardware wallet support and the DApp connector. And of course, everyone is waiting for the integration with DEXs. And we are currently working on that and testing that out with some DEXs out there. And I think for the 3 months remaining, that's we have plenty, plenty lined up. Yeah.
Yeah, from my point of view, I'm looking forward to the DEXs, and then obviously the wallets integrating with the DEXs. Once that happens, the floodgates are going to open, I think. Once that happens, I'm keen for that. It's definitely got to be one of those moments, because I think a lot of people, when the smart contract, when the event happened at the summit, and even before that, people were expecting, I think, more like pretty much projects straight away. And I think that was maybe a miscommunication from the higher ups. But once we get a DEX and once people can use it and wallets can connect with it, the game will be changed.
Yeah.
How can people connect with you guys and support what you guys do?
Excellent question. Yeah, we have the Telegram group, Twitter. We have a ticketing system. You can open a ticket at any time at helpdesk at GeroWallet.io. And Shawn, email.
Yeah, I mean, I know on the website, if you just want to send us some words or, send us anything, get in touch. We have that at the bottom of the website. We also have the Medium articles. I don't know if anybody's just interested in seeing articles that we put out. We'll be putting out some educational articles as well to go along with the features such as delegation or staking. And then also we put our updates up on Medium as well, if you want to keep track of that. I think, those are the common endpoints to, reach out to us and get in touch with us.
Perfect. And these links will be in the description. And the final question that I like to ask everyone, and I'll ask it to maybe both of you, if you guys don't mind. It's just a general Cardano question. And it's, what excites you the most about the future of Cardano? Just can be anything. I like it because everyone has a different answer, but what excites you the most about the future of Cardano?
I'll go first. Sorry, I always pause to see if Chris has something to say. So I think what excites me the most is the attitude of the ecosystem and the long-term goals. So accessibility. And I know something that always comes up is Africa, but it's bigger than Africa even, but I know it's a good example. It's just having a financial system that's accessible to everyone. And so there isn't individuals who maybe, you could say they have privilege over others, benefiting more from others just because of where they were born or where they live. So I think that's what makes it, that's what's most exciting about Cardano, is that it's an equalizer.
Equalizer, I love that. How about you, bro?
I'm gonna go with unknown coupled with possibilities. We are at this time we are like on the bleeding edge of Cardano, and there are a few things figured out, but also many things that haven't been figured out yet. And so there's this, let's say, rush from all the projects and the people that we're working with to figure out the details to make all these great ideas and all this ecosystem actually work.